Hey, thanks for stopping in. Chef Billy Parisi here with Heinen's, and I'm going to show you how to get that perfect golden brown crust every time you fry fish. There are a couple things that you need to take into consideration to get that browned up fish. I'm going to show you along the way each of those things. But first, we're going to prep up some fish, beginning with cod. Heinen's has a wonderful assortment of fresh seafood, and cod is always available. But instead of these big pieces, I want to cut them down into smaller pieces. Just like when you get fish and chips at a restaurant, you don't get some big fillet of cod. No, you get smaller pieces. So just cut them down until you reach longer spears like this. All right, perfect. Now for the batter. We're going to start off with a buttermilk mixture. So in a bowl, we're going to add in some buttermilk. Next, we're going to add in an egg. Then we're going to generously season it with salt and pepper. Whisk it together until completely combined. Now for the dry portion of the batter, here is a crucial step for me. I'm going to add in some all-purpose flour and then cornstarch. Cornstarch to me just makes the batter lighter and fluffier, so it's not so heavy and will help make sure it sticks to the fish and browning it up. I do a 2-to-1 flour to cornstarch mixture, and at this point we are gonna add in salt and pepper, whisk it together until it's completely combined. Be sure to taste it, make sure it's seasoned enough. Let's take a quick break here and go heat up some oil. So we go right to battering up our fish to frying. So when it comes to oil, you have several options. As long as it's a neutral flavored oil, I prefer expeller pressed, and you can use an oil that is perfect for your diet or any health considerations. What we do want to do is heat it up until it reaches 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That is key. If it's not hot enough, the breading is going to dissipate and leave the fish when we put it in there. So it has to be 350 degrees. All right, so while this is heating up over medium heat, let's go back and start battering up everything. So you also want to do this just a few at a time. Add it to our buttermilk mixture, then taking out one piece at a time, add it to our flour mixture, press in that cornstarch flour mixture, make sure it's completely coated in that goodness on all sides. Then give it a little shake to get off any excess. Then I'm just gonna set it to the side on a sheet tray lined with parchment paper and repeat the process until all the fish is battered up. Don't worry, this is gonna move quickly, so we're gonna be in good shape. Let's go back over to our oil. Let's check the temperature out. I've got a high temp thermometer. We're right above 350, around 360, 365. That's perfect because when we add in cold fish, it's gonna bring the temperature down. So we're at a good place here. Next, crucial step. Do not overcrowd your oil. If you do that, things are going to stick together and potentially break off. So maybe just 3 or 4 at a time. That's it. And fish cooks very quickly, only 3 to 4 minutes until you get that beautiful brown crust and it's finished in the inside. But you're also going to need to do this in batches. So set it to the side on a sheet tray with a rack, drain off any excess oil. A couple ways to make sure that it's done. The first, you can add in a thermometer. Anything above 160 degrees Fahrenheit is going to be perfect. Also, if you just break it in half and you can see the fish is real flaky and breaks apart with ease, we know we're in good shape. Okay, once all the fish is done frying, my personal bliss is dipping it into Heinen's lemon dill sauce. Oh my goodness, so good. You could also just serve it up with malt vinegar or anything like that. All right, now for the second thing, I thought maybe we'll try to fry up something a little different, a little bit more elegant. How about some calamari? This is always available in the frozen seafood section. In the seafood department, it comes in just tubes or tubes and tentacles. I'm gonna use tubes and tentacles. Make sure it's completely thawed out. And really the only prep you need to do, because there's no wings on the tubes and the beak has been removed from the tentacles, is just slice the tubes into thick 3/4 to 1 inch thick rings. Think about when you go to a restaurant, you get calamari, you get those rings? That's where this is from. Okay, what we're gonna do is the exact same process. We are going to batter it up in the buttermilk. Then next in that same flour cornstarch mixture. Now the only thing I like to do after I add in just a handful at a time and making sure it's completely coated is I get rid of any excess flour by using a sifter. This just makes sure that it doesn't clump up. And then repeat the process until it's all coated in flour. Back to the fryer. We're going to have to do this in batches again so that nothing sticks together. But calamari cooks very quickly, 45 seconds to a minute. That is it. So once we add in a handful, you're gonna need a spoon or tongs to move some things around so that it doesn't clump up. Perfect. And then just like the fish, we set it on a sheet tray with the rack to drain off any excess oil. Go back, finish up your batches, until it is all finished cooking. Now for me, you have several options for dipping, but that Heinen's marinara sauce, I kind of grew up on that in the Italian restaurants that I worked at. Just a little bit of that marinara, so delicious. But be sure to follow those techniques. Use that flour cornstarch mixture. Make sure your oil is hot enough. Do not overcrowd the oil when frying them. You use those 3 things, you're going to be perfect and have the most beautiful golden brown fish that everyone is going to want to come to your house and eat. I can promise you that. All right, I've got a lot of fish and calamari to eat. We'll see you next time.